Welcome back, friends. We're on chapter 7 now. I changed my shirt. I think we left off with Wicked Witch of the East. I watched back that footage. I said Wicked Witch of the East. I obviously meant Wicked Witch of the West, but if at least 10 people watch that last video, they'll definitely send a correction down in there. I don't know. It is what it is. That's what you guys are here to do. I don't even know what happens next. Noah in the flood. There's a lot of stories in Genesis, a lot of famous stories from the Bible that just happen in Genesis. Basically, everything that everyone references is like Genesis through Jesus. Genesis or Jesus. That's the right way to put it. There's a lot of the Bible that people tend to ignore in my experience, but all the famous stories, most of the famous stories are like Genesis, Exodus. Maybe you got your David here every now and then, maybe a little bit of Elisha, depending, Ezra maybe, if you watched VeggieTales growing up. I definitely did. It was all over Texas in the 90s and 2000s. But we're still here in the beginning. Not the very beginning, but the beginning enough. The stories that people still know. Won't spoil how it ends. This one's called Noah. Wait a second. I stopped in the middle of Noah's story. We've already started Noah in the flood, and I forgot that part was recorded. So the beginning of chapter 7 is in the middle of Noah's story, and it ends in the middle of Noah's story, it looks like. I'm looking ahead. No spoilers. Let's get started. The Lord then said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found you righteous in this generation." That's right. We established in the last chapter that everyone else was wicked except for Noah. And I guess I've been told before that just his family built the ark, and I thought that it was like a fact that it took him a certain amount of years, but I think that was an estimate that someone told me when I was younger. I don't know if he built it with his family for a long, long time, and then they all sailed off with pairs of animals together, or if they enlisted their fellow neighbors and citizens and then watched them all die. Maybe these chapters will tell us. Take with you 7 pairs of every kind of clean animal. Clean animal. I wonder if they're going to expand on that or clarify what that means. A male and its mate, and 1 pair of every kind of unclean animal. I hope they define this. A male and its mate. I assume that's the cadence here because he says it once. A male and its mate, and 1 pair of every kind of unclean animal. A male and its mate, even the unclean ones, is kind of the implication I'm reading here in the text. Even though we can't hear God's tone of voice, who used to directly speak to people, but doesn't today for some reason, we can try and infer what the inflection is. And also, I don't remember this, 7 pairs of every kind of bird, male and female. That's a misconception that most people in society have. 7 pairs of every bird. I don't remember that being in there. I guess we talked about incest last time. I guess the birds need more genetic variety. Or the poet thought it was relevant to society in some way. 7 pairs of every kind of bird, male and female, to keep their various kinds alive throughout the earth. Once again, I began commenting before the facts were laid out before me. To keep the various kinds alive. So I guess it's just, he was like, okay, yeah, I'm confused again. Because I feel like, again, spoiler alert, God is all powerful. He could just keep 2 pairs of birds alive, but for some reason he needs 7 to keep their various kinds alive throughout the earth. If I'm misreading that or misunderstanding, please fill me in. Seems like you could just do it with 2. 7 days from now, I will. Thanks for the week. So I do comment way too fast. 7 days from now, I will send rain on earth for 40 days and 40 nights. That's a recurring theme we're going to come back to a lot. 40. The number 40, and I will wipe from the face of the earth every living creature I have made. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, 7 days from now. You have a week. In a week, everything's dead except for you. Factory reset. If you've ever factory reset your phone or computer or PlayStation 5 Pro for $700 or 800 euros, you know what that means. And Noah did all that the Lord commanded him. Nice. 2 pairs clean, 2 pairs unclean, 7 pairs of animals, 40 days, 40 nights. Got it, Noah said. That's not in the Bible. That's me. Noah was 600 years old. Wow. When the floodwaters came on the earth. And Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives entered the ark to escape the waters of the flood. pairs of clean and unclean animals, there's a comma, of birds and of all creatures that move along the ground, male and female, came to Noah and entered the ark as God had commanded Noah. And after 7 days, the flood waters came on earth, came on the earth. Okay, in the 600th year of Noah's life, we're reiterating that he's 600. That's super old. I haven't done anything for 600 years. In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the second month, why do they phrase and date things this way? On the 17th day of the second month, I guess maybe that's a translation thing again. Maybe I should stop being so critical. On the day, all the springs of the great deep burst forth. And, oh, I see, that's how the flood's happening. Also with rain, I guess. And the floodgates of the heavens were opened. Again, does that just mean sky? Because it can't literally be heaven, because we know it's not literally up there. And rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. So it's raining and geysers, or it says springs. All the springs of the great deep burst forth, which I guess we now know is the Marianas Trench. I don't know. Not enough context. On that very day, Noah and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, together with his wife, Noah's wife, and the wives of his 3 sons, entered the ark. They had with them every wild animal according to its kind, all livestock according to their kinds, every creature that moves along the ground according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind. Everything with wings. It specifies birds. Every bird according to its kind, everything with wings. So I guess that's why we believe dragons were real, because they could have been on there too. Or Pegasuses, like we said before. It's not Pegasi, is it? I said Pegasus on purpose because it sounds funny, but is there a plural form of that word? Pairs of all creatures that have the breath of life in them came to Noah and entered the ark. So he was like, wee, and all the animals came wandering forth out of the ground, out of the sky, from the heavens. The animals going in were male and female of every living thing, as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord shut him in. I guess he couldn't close the door himself. The Lord shut him in. Maybe they were good enough to build the ark, but couldn't seal the door. Hold the door. For 40 days, the flood kept coming on the earth. Why? Why did they have to say it that way? And as the waters increased, they lifted the ark high above the earth. The water rose and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the water. They rose... Wait, didn't we just say that? They rose greatly on the earth. Yeah, they're just saying it again. They rose greatly on the earth, and all the high mountains under the entire heavens were covered. So it does mean sky. It has to. All the mountains under the entire heavens. The sky. Again, someone please tell me. The waters rose and covered the mountains to a depth of more than 15 cubits. We talked about cubits before. I don't know how big that is. I know it's big. And I think we're talking like 3-dimensional, a cubit. It's got to be related. It's not like a flat surface measurement. It's like you can compare it to a room, but I don't know, bro. These are some of the gaps in my knowledge. I'm happy to admit things like that. Just inviting fieriness in the comments. Every living thing that moved on land perished. Oh, so sad. Birds, livestock, they tell us all of it. Wild animals, all the creatures that swarm over the earth, and all mankind. And this was before climate change, so that's a lot of animals. But maybe the population was young. Maybe it wasn't a lot of animals. I mean, it's kind of the population growth has been exponential. I think it's leveling out. They say that by the year 100, like Europe, a lot of Asia, some of Asia, the United States, okay, so here's the thing. This is a quick little side tangent here. The more educated and rich you are, the fewer children you have. Poverty and undereducation both correlate with higher birth rates. So right now, the richest and most educated countries are rapidly slowing. So that's the United States, the entire continent of Europe, or I shouldn't say the entire, a lot of Europe, certain parts of Asia. And the expectation is that certain countries or continents are going to kind of blow up over the next 100 years. We haven't been perfectly accurate with our population estimates over the past 30 to 40 years, but by the year 2100, if I'm remembering correctly, it's expected that 1 out of every 4 people on the earth will be from Africa. Their population is kind of expected, or is, and I think is expected to explode over the next, I guess, well, we're in 2024, so over the next 76 years, and they should be the highest portion of living individuals on the earth. And that's also going to cause a lot of problems for climate change, because they are about to have probably, almost certainly in the next, I don't know how to say this accurately. The next 20 to 40 years, they're definitely going to have big technological explosions. All of the people in Africa are going to want cars, air conditioning, housing. It's incredibly energy intensive. And unless we slow that down, it's not going to be good for the earth. You can't just tell people you can't have nice things because the world will die. Obviously, it's already not working. Most people don't even believe it. So actually, if you're a fan of the Bible, you probably don't believe it. I shouldn't make jokes like that, but it's probably true. Every living thing that moved on land perished. I said that already. Where was I? Wild animals, all the creatures that swarm over the earth, and all mankind. That's just tacked on there. All the creatures died, and all mankind. Everything on dry land that had the breath of life in its nostrils died. That sucks. Every living thing on the face of the earth was wiped out. People, and they keep reiterating it. I mean, I feel like we should get it by now. People and animals and creatures that move along the ground, and the birds were wiped from the earth. So I guess, they can't just cruise along in the sky forever. Only Noah was left, and those with him in the ark. The waters flooded the earth for 150 days. So it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. I feel like if you just say day, well, okay, I get it. They said 40 days, then technically people could be like, well, I guess it didn't rain at night. Not that that's even relevant, but people are sticklers over weird things. 40 days and 40 nights. So it rained constantly. That's what we can say. It rained the whole time. It's except for late morning and late afternoon. No. 40 days and 40 nights. And then the waters flooded the earth for 150 days. So even after that, it says the waters flooded the earth for, 150 days. I guess, I don't know if the 40 were a part of that. It's a long time, though. That's a good 6 months sitting on a boat with your family and expecting to repopulate the earth. And if you're 600 years old, pregnancy's rough on the body. They don't say how old his wife is. I guess she could be anywhere, but I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to be impregnated by a 600-year-old man. Think about that. Ugh. Well, that's it for that chapter. Tune in next time for chapter 8. I'll talk to you guys then.